It's playoff time in Texas. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Graham Steer Football Show right here on L4 Media and S2S Sports Network, as the Graham Steers are your district champ in 3-4A Division II. Last week, beating Eagle Mountain 49-3 to finish out the unbeaten district record, 9-1 overall, and a state rank of number 3 in the state, a very well-deserved number 3. And now it's time to talk playoff football. And oh boy, this is going to be a fun and I think a very long run for the Graham Steers. Though at this bottom half of the bracket, that round 3 game is looming large. But we got to get there first. I want to remind everybody before we get into this, we have a 4A show that we do each and every week called Sideline to Sideline that you can hear either audio only, S2SGrantandTerry.com, or you can go watch the video, youtube.com/at L4 Media Company. Last night we recorded the 4A show. Now in the playoffs, we pick every playoff game. So if you want to go check that out, check out Playoff Tree and all that, please go check out Sideline to Sideline. But here we're going to be talking to the head coach of the Graham Steers. Want to remind everybody, if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, you can email them to me, Terry at S2SSport.com. Also, we are still looking for some Graham playoff sponsors for this show. So please reach out to me, Terry at S2SSport.com, and we can get you advertising as soon as next week's show. And again, I think we're going to have multiple weeks of Graham football, so it'll be a good long-term investment. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's the head coach of the Graham Steers, Coach Clay McChristian, right here on the Graham Steer Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. Terry Bennett back here on the Graham Football Show. Now joined by the head coach of the Steers, Coach Clay McChristian. And Coach, first off, congratulations. Your first year as a head coach. You are the District 3-4A Division II champ. Before we get to anything else, how does that feel to hear that?
And it feels good. You know, it's an honor that goes this entire team and program and Booster Club and parents. You know, it's not just me by any means. This entire program is ran by a lot of people and is backed by a lot of people, and you know, the thanks goes to everyone, and it's a good honor for the school and for the town.
You know, one of the things I really appreciated about you when we first started doing the show, the very first show, we talked about, hey, you know, this is your first year as a head coach, and what does that mean? And you know, do you have any, you know, like just being nervous about it? And you're very open, like, no, I'm not nervous, but yeah, this is a different thing. You know, this is something I've never done before. It's going to be interesting to see it from the other side. And y'all have had a wonderful season. And I'm going to start with your side of the ball. You said from the very beginning this defense had a chance to be special, but you got to admit, I think they've even exceeded your expectations by how great they've been this year.
They really have. You know, going into it, we knew we had a lot of players coming back with a lot of experience, but they really have. They exceeded what I thought they could be, and every week they kind of exceeded even more. But I just can't say how proud I am of them, of how good a teammates they are to each other. They really are a group that gives all the recognition to each other. Anytime you talk to them, they're talking about their teammates. And I tell people all the time when they ask me, they say, well, what makes this group so special? And I say, really, it's two things. They play unbelievably hard. And we always pride ourselves on playing really good, hard-nosed defense here, but these kids are relentless. And the second thing is they know their jobs so well. They are just students of the game, students of their positions. And when you play that hard and you do your job in every play, then this just shows exactly what can happen when you take care of business.
All right, well, let's talk about it. Your first playoff game, Fort Worth, Dunbar. You and I were talking before we started recording. This is a Wildcat team that dropped down from 5A. They're 4-6, but man, if you really start looking at that record and who they've played and the scores outside of one or two games, this Dunbar team I think is better than their 4-6 record.
They really are. You start looking at that, and they play pretty good defense. They've got a couple of really good defensive linemen, They've got skill guys on the back end that can run. So they're definitely scary. And then offensively, every time they snap the ball, they've got somebody who can go take it to the house. And so it's not something that we take lightly at all. We want to make sure that we focus in on each week. And I know some people say, well, this is the number 1 versus number 4. We don't look at it that way. If you've made it into the playoffs, then you got a chance to win every single night. So our kids done a good job staying, locked in and focused on their jobs. But we're definitely not overlooking Dunbar because they're a good team.
Well, now y'all play a day early, but other than that, have y'all done anything different with it being the playoffs, or are you just a big believer and you just treat this as it's just week 12 of the football season?
We really just try and keep it, the same every week. We lift the exact same. We keep our same schedule. We modify just a little bit on, today's schedule, a day before. Trying to lighten up a little bit, but real big believer in consistency and just doing what you do every week. These kids are so routine oriented. We tried, we practiced in the mornings at 6 a.m. And so we tried a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, to go to the afternoons. And we went to a couple of afternoon practices, and our leadership council guys came back and said, Coach, man, we want to go back to the mornings. And we're like, you guys like the 6 a.m.? They said, yeah, because we love getting up early and doing that. And so there gets to be such a routine with these kids that they don't want to change. And so we want to make sure in the playoffs we try and keep everything as normal as possible.
You bring up a really good point right there, though. And I know there are some people that will lament about the old days, and nowadays everybody's too soft. But one of the things, talking with coaches, that I am very impressed with, and I think that y'all do better than past generation coaches, is you listen to your players, whether it be individually or through a senior council, and for them to say, hey, you know what, we really liked it better that way. It makes sense to want them to do it the way they want to do it so that they're comfortable.
It is, there's certain things that are non-negotiables, and there's things that we're going to tell them. But I think you're not doing a good job as a coach if you're not listening to your people, whether it be me listening to my staff on their suggestions or us listening to the kids. And when you've got 26 seniors that have been through it and they've been through the grind and they've had a past playoff experience, we'd be dumb as a staff not to listen to them and listen to their suggestions. It doesn't mean we're going to take everything they say, but they know they have the pulse of the team, and so getting them together and then come to us and saying, Coach, no, we really think this is best. Moving forward is going back to the mornings. We'd be dumb as a staff not to listen to them.
Well, and doesn't that also transfer into the film room? If a player's like, hey, Coach, this is what I'm seeing, and you have that trust, as you said, they're seniors, they've played a lot of time, these guys, and so you have that trust of when they see something on film that might be a little different, you at least take a look to see their view from it.
Exactly, and that's our kids pride themselves on their film study, and so we will, as a staff. We watch it. We come up with our what we think is the best game plan on the weekend. But we'll get on Monday and Tuesday practices, and I'll get together with our our safety who calls our defense on the back end, and our linebacker who calls on the front, and they'll say, man, because I kind of like going to this front, and he'll say, hey, what about if we check this to this this coverage on this certain set, and so they're out there playing it. They know what makes them feel comfortable, and we don't really give that ability to sophomores. I always tell sophomores, I don't need to hear much from you. You guys just learn how to play the game. Juniors, I can start to hear that you have a voice now. But as a senior, again, I'd be dumb not to sit there and listen to those kids and say, how is it that you feel that you can play this the best? And this group, I wouldn't do that if they didn't spend the time in the film room, if they didn't really know their positions and how they can play things better. And so it's great having a group that during the week, tweaks things, but then during the game, they'll come over between series and they'll tell me what they're seeing. And they're like, Coach, I really think if we slide the front this way, if we kick the coverage that direction, we can play this better. I'm like, go do it. And your guys are out there playing it. If you think you play something better, man, jump on it. So it's a luxury this year, this many seniors.
Okay, as a coaching staff, will y'all be sending out scouts? Now, y'all play on Thursday, and there are some schools playing on Thursday as well on your side of the bracket, but I know y'all's second-round opponent, I think they play on Friday, Perryton and Monahans. Do you send out scouts, or do y'all just rely on huddle and stuff now?
No, we were just talking about that a little while ago and seeing it. Our scouts, maybe me and our OC and our DC and some guys, will take off and go and see. There's just something about getting eyes on people. There's things that you can't tell on film. You can get a lot of stuff off a huddle, which is great, but sometimes you got to get what's that snap count. What are they doing? Injury wise, sometimes you can't see when a guy comes off the field, he's limping. Well, when he limped over there, did he get taped up? And so there's a lot of things you can get off the field laying eyes on people. So we'll definitely get out there. And I think the problem with this week, this Friday, is that I think everything's out there in Lubbock, so it's about 3.5 hours away from us. So it's going to be a quick turnaround to go out to Lubbock and then get back up here on Saturday, get back to work. But if you want to be the best you can be, I think you got to go lay eyes on people.
I asked you this, your first game of the year. You personally, are there any nerves coming into this?
No, there's really not. One of our coaches, before the Brock game said, "Man, you seem really at ease." And I said, "I just have faith in our team. I have faith in our preparation. I have faith in our plans." And we always use the term "the hay's in the barn." We go out there, and when you have faith in your coaches and your players, there's not a lot of nerves to it. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna play the game. I tell the kids, it comes really down to two things. You're gonna whoever makes the most mistakes and whoever wins the most moments. And out there, there's going to be mistakes made. You got to minimize those, but there's going to be moments in every game, and you got to be the one that makes more of those moments. When that ball's in the air, it's a 50-50, you got to come down it. When it's you versus a running back, you got to get them on the ground. So, man, minimize the mistakes and make more of the moment.
Do you have a kid that plays sports? Are you yourself a weekend warrior? Then I'm going to tell you something. Check out NeuroGuardPlus.com. That's NEURO guardplus.com. It's a mouthpiece that can not only help with concussions, but can dramatically affect the way you perform. And the mission of NeuroGuard is to, of course, reduce the risk of suffering a concussion when participating in any contact sport, military, anything that you're doing physical that you could take a blow to the head. You might want to put in a NeuroGuard mouth guard. And as I said, it not only helps eliminate concussions, it helps you perform better by simply aligning your jaw properly. And that sounds like such a simple thing, but it is so important because it allows oxygen to get to your brain. And when you get oxygen to the brain, you don't have that fog of sports or that fog of war where you get confused. And if you've ever played football, that's a sport where that can happen. Especially, man, you're in there in the trenches and you take a shot to the side and all of a sudden things are spinning. This mouth guard will help you keep focus by, again, simply keeping oxygen going to your brain 100%. Again, check them out, NeuroGuardPlus.com. And if you play sports, if you have a kid that plays sport, if you do something physical, one of the things that Dr. Hutchinson, the creator of this, was talking about was some people will use it when they're doing yard work and when they're mowing and things like that, where they're being physically active because they know it helps align their jaw and it keeps oxygen going to the brain, which also helps your lungs, by the way, when you can have full breath every time as you're performing. So again, check them out, NeuroGuardPlus.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball.
As always, we want to thank Coach McChristian for joining us here. First round of the playoffs. Dunbar is a better team than their record. And we have to come on here on these shows and you're going to play some bad teams through the years or through the weeks. And, we have to kind of try to, make it sound better than the opponent really is and stuff, because, you don't want you don't want to be like, hey, coach, you're about to win 48-0. How bad is this team? But with Dunbar, they legitimately have really good talent. Now, in saying that, Graham's going to win comfortably, in my opinion. But don't be surprised if after the first quarter, maybe into the second quarter, it's a closer game. Dunbar has a lot of athleticism. They're really solid defense, as he was talking about. They got a couple guys on the defensive line that are really, really good. Now, their issue is their running back's out. He's hurt, and their offense at times can be really, really inconsistent. But, their defense held Benbrook to 21 points. They held Godley to 33 points. Two teams that have been scoring pretty good this year, who are both playoff teams. They lost to Wilmer Hutchins to begin the year, 29-22. And if I remember correctly, I think they had that game won and had like a late turnover, and Wilmer Hutchins was able to convert that into a touchdown. So this Dunbar team has the talent. For them, it's just being consistent. And I think that's where Graham will be able to jump on them and kind of, they're one of those programs. Once you get up a score or two, you can kind of then grind them down and take care of business. But yeah, just don't be surprised if early on that Dunbar defense rises up and makes a couple stops and makes things hard, but it'll be okay. And, like I said, Graham should be playing for a pretty good while in the playoffs. They'll take on the winner if they win. They'll take on the winner of Perryton versus Monahans. That game is at Lubbock Cooper High on Friday. On the bottom half of the bracket where Graham lies, Glen Rose and Eagle Mountain will play this week. Seminole and Levelland. So the winner of those two will play, and then the winner of that one will play the winner of this little quad that Graham is in. And so that bottom half of the bracket, this is one of those weird years where winning district, I don't think it made it, oh my God, tougher. Glen Rose has gotten better, and they're closer to where they were at the start of the season than they have been, but I still think they have some issues that I don't know if can be fixed. But it is a little bit tougher draw for Graham coming through this bottom side. But I think Graham has shown that they are so battle tested now and so ready. Again, we need some playoff sponsors for this show, so please reach out to me, Terry at S2Ssport.com. You can also text me at 469-605-3658, and we can get you on as soon as next week. If you're going to the game, be safe, have fun, and we'll be back here next week right here on the Graham Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.